Hello, investors. This is Ted Zhang, portfolio manager at Revere Asset Management. Today is Monday, November 3rd, 5:12 p.m. coming to you from New York City. State of the market, we are still in an uptrend. Market leaders are healthy with the green up arrow. Short-term trend, S&P, NASDAQ are above the 21 EMA. RSP mid caps below, and same with small caps are flirting with that area as well. So we have a yellow sub arrow there. Same with RSP mid caps with the yellow sub arrow for the intermediate term trend or medium term trend. We still have a green arrow on balance in long term, still above the 200-day moving averages, and therefore we have a green arrow. What happened today? Mega caps continue to lead and hold up indexes as breadth remains weak. 21 over 21 list up 1.11%. 13 stocks up, one neutral, seven down. Turbo 12 up 0.97%, five stocks up, one neutral, six down. Big 8 up 0.71%, RG8 down 0.26%, S&P up 0.17%, RSP down 0.24%, the Qs up 0.48%, QQEW down 0.19%, Dow Jones down 0.48%, mid caps down 0.11%, Russell down 0.33%, global 60/40 equities bonds down 0.03%, GROTECTION up 0.54%, and Turbo down 0.17%. And I apologize if I feel a little stuffy. Some of the New York City germs are getting to me a little bit. So continue on, as always. Let's jump right into it with the chart of the S&P 500. So looking at this chart, we're still riding the EMA. Last week, we gapped up on August 24th, had a breakaway move, lockout move, pulled back to the EMA, and we are trending above so far. RSP you can see living below 821 and 58, which is why we have that medium term trend with the yellow sub arrow. The equal weighted stocks, or just the stocks outside the mega caps, Big 10, aren't doing so well. Evident by this chart, multiple failed breakouts, living below the 50-day. The Qs, on the other hand, market cap weighted, held up by the MAG 7, trending above the 8 EMA as well. And then a mirror image. QQEW is stronger because of tech, but below the 8 EMA and trending above the 21 EMA. Dow Jones pulling back today to the 8 EMA. Mid caps living below the 821 and 50-day. Russell living below the 8 and 21 as well now. Found support the 50-day, and on the weekly chart, found support the 10-week. This has been a really frustrating one. Big shakeout, another big shakeout. Just can't hold the 21. Super choppy action. And we've been shaking out this multiple times in Turbo now. VIX tried to rise here today, putting a high of 18.83, and we fell and closed lows at the day today. That's good to see. The dollar stages a big undercut and reclaim of 99.58, and now the $100 level is up now. So this is a potential inverse head and shouldery like setup, and we'll see what happens above 100. There's a declining 200-day as well. Bumping right into that. Continue on. Gold, living below the 821 now, forming, you can say, a bear flag, but this could also result to the upside as well. Silver, same thing, forming a bear wedge below the 8 and 21 as well. They already had quite of a accelerated move, huge crack, and some basing is definitely needed. IBIT gap down, still below the 200-day moving average on the spot ETF chart, but below the 200-day moving average in the spot Bitcoin chart because it trades 7 days a week. It's a little bit skewed. For example, the 40-week is still below supporting it. The failed breakouts in Bitcoin is a caution and a potential concern for some weakening action in crypto overall. And these levels really need to hold. In bonds, BND gaps below the 50-day moving average as yields rise, 10 years back above 4.1%. And ever since the Fed, rates have been on the rise. TLT, same thing, back to the 50-day as rates rise. So with that being said, that is it for the inter-asset correlation. Now on to the tail of the tape. And let's just go over one by one. We're stopping under the bull case, initiating rally above the 21 EMA on 424, and really that's held most of this entire trend. News today, we saw herein with a $10 billion Microsoft deal. CIFR reported earnings, but more importantly, had a $5.5 billion lease agreement with AWS, Amazon. And then US-China eased some trade tensions. President Trump and Xi discussed soybeans, fentanyl, and rare earths. And then Trump also said that NVIDIA can ship their Blackwell chips to China as well. Today's keys, we're watching the S&P versus the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA, as well as all-time highs. We closed above the 8 and the 21, but below all-time highs. The Q is above the 8 and 21, but below all-time highs, and the Russell below the 8 and 21, but close above 50-day. Day count consolidation 3 to consolidation 4, 11 days above the 8 EMA, 12 days above the 21 EMA. S&P ATR rises to 1.15%, so volatility still remains elevated. And we want to see that come down below 1% for the best of trends. Sectors that were green today, bond yields, so bonds were down, dollar, discretionary, tech, healthcare, WGMI, the crypto miners, data center transition. We'll definitely highlight some of those names, oil, and mega caps. On the downside, communications, staples, builders, uranium, Bitcoin, biotech, and home builders. In GROTECTION, we added to SoFi. Let's showcase that. That was nice. Upside reversal off the 21 EMA Friday. Continued through today. Through 30. 1.39 beta, 6.31% open heat. In turbo today, we bought some SSO, but we sold a few things. First one's URTY. IWM just shook us out below Friday's upside reversal. We didn't want to see that taken out. APLD, just so many wicks, and then we broke the last 3 days lows, decided to close that one out, especially with herein in this group, gapping up on the news, and same with CIFR, gapping up on the news as well, acting much better than the APLD. UUUU, rare earths decided to drop as well below the 821 after flagging. Had to step aside once again. Half, some volatility, shook us out below those last 2 days lows and the 21 EMA, and then ARM as well. We're heading to earnings in 2 days. Reversal today. Decided to step aside as well. No cushion. 1.14 beta, 5.12% open heat. Bottom line is mega caps lead as breadth weakens. For tomorrow's keys, we're watching the S&P versus the 821 at all-time highs. The Q, same thing, 821 at all-time highs, and then the Russell versus the 21 and 50. So continue on. Let's go to some of my charts of interest. We talked about herein already. We broke out this massive, massive base. It's made a move from 16 all the way to 76. What a monster move. 1676, over 500% move. And after hours, up another percent. Started forming a high tight flag here, and on the news, we gapped up above. CFR, Jane Street invested 5% in this area. I believe it's on this day. Pulled back into earnings. Huge beat, 990% year-over-year growth, 198% revenue growth, and then more importantly, the $5.5 billion AWS deal boosted it. My charts of interest, Tesla to me is the best weekly chart in the market. One of the best setups as well. Elon Musk pay package vote is November 6th. That could act as catalyst to send this one into all-time highs. And that will be key. Palantir reported earnings. They beat on earnings and revenues, and they guided revenues higher and fiscal year 2025 revenues higher as well. Mild reaction up 1%. That's typical for something coming out a very late stage base. This is market search as a fifth stage base. We've had 8 quarters of earnings already in this uptrend. So it's definitely getting later in the innings. XPEV is another huge base that I'm watching. This is a Chinese name. You can see this accelerated earnings line as well. In this name, they're a huge EV maker in China, but they're also a humanoid robots maker as well. ARM's a chips company, like almost a 2-year base, earnings in 2 days, watching that. And then finally, TMDX, Had some volatility around earnings, just massive numbers. You can see 58 to 100, 163 to 450. And I just want to see this right side of the base build. And over 145 looks good, or if we can get another entry point within the base with some tightness. That being said, let's go over the 21 over 21 list, Turbo 12, and then we'll wrap it up for today. On the upside, WGMI was up 7.1% on the heels of CIFR and herein. MU memory name was up 4.88%, continues to trend nicely above 8 and 21. Palantir we talked about, so 5 we talked about as well. Tesla I just talked about too. MongoDB has acted really well. Highest volume ever on the last earnings report. Typical 7 to 10 week flat base or base breaks out today, reaffirmed next quarter guidance, and instituted a new CEO from Cloudflare. NVIDIA continues higher as well. Great action. Nothing too much to talk about here. CrowdStrike has this base breakout and continues and trends nicely higher as well. AMD caps up on the OpenAI news and just trending above the 8 EMA, starting to get tight here once again. Earnings in a day. CLS, super strong action as well, flagging above the 8 EMA after earnings. Halliburton oil name, massive 3 days up, now building this little flag. Snowflake owned this GROTECTION. Nice breakout and trend above the 8 EMA right now. Teradyne, this robotics name, as well as electronics, capped up on earnings. Even though numbers weren't great, they had massive guidance raised, and this continued to trend higher. Hood, starting to build another base again. This is looking good over 150, but earnings, the problem is earnings are in 2 days. FSLR breaks out, reverses today back in. VRT, this cooling name, huge weekly base as well. Breaks its area, and really nice move so far from 155 to 200. RTX flagging as well. Light breaks out pre-earnings. Earnings are tomorrow after the close. Just triple-digit earnings the last 2 quarters. CCJ uranium name caps up on that. Brookfield and US $80 billion deal pulls back right now to 100. Could be a potential support area. GLW, nice trend above the 21 and 8. And then CRDO breaks out from the 50-day all the way to highs. And now we're retesting the top. In Turbo 12, herein is up 11.5%. We talked about this already. Bloom makes a new high. They provide the fuel cells, remember, for data center power generation. SNDK, another memory name. What an amazing move from 55 all the way to 200, nearly a 4x. KRMN, robotics name, gaps up on news, trends nicely above the 21 EMA. SYM, another robotics. KRMN is more military-based or military applications. SYM is a warehouse robotics and logistics. Breakout of the flag, continues higher. Nice path, volatility today, breaks above the 8. Bearish engulfing, shakes us out, and we'll see what happens there. I'm still watching this flag closely. It looks quite good. Draw like that, higher lows. Maybe it narrows and then eventually breaks out. Copper SCCO finds nice support. If you look at copper futures, also huge gap down, but it has been trickling higher, back above all key moving averages as well. AVAV starting to form a high tight flag here. So another robotics name, drones for the military. And it's definitely a really interesting name that I'm watching. Tempest AI, healthcare name, starting to get tight right at the 821 and 50. This has just been such a choppy name, even after it has earnings in a day to tomorrow. So that will be interesting and could ignite this sector as well. ArcG, new ad today. Had a failed breakout, pulled back, failed breakdown, consolidating at the 821. This looks like it's building a better handle now on the weekly chart. Still watching this going forward. TMDX, we talked about it. And then AAOI, some choppiness. Bearish engulfing action today, breaking the 8, back to the 21 EMA. So that being said, I'm going to wrap it up for today's video. It is November 3rd. If you have any questions, you can email me at ted@revereasset.com. You can also follow me or DM me on Twitter at TedHZhang. My phone is 855 Real Wealth. That's 855-732-5932. Website's revereasset.com. And My social media is at Revere, or our social media is at Revere Asset on YouTube, X, Instagram, and TikTok. That being said, this is Ted Zhang with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thank you for listening and have a great rest of your day and week.